Pollution, a pressing, controversial global issue that is dealt with differently around the world. Costa Rica, a tourism and agricultural-based country of 51,000 square feet located in between Nicaragua and Panama. Costa Rica struggles from being a third-world country, but thrives in its efforts to improve the levels of pollution not only in its own provinces but around the world as well. The pollution index in Costa Rica, which is the estimation of overall pollution, is 49, compared to, for example, the United States, which has a pollution index of 60. With 21.7% of the population living in poverty, how is the country able to accomplish this? This and more will be explored as we investigate Costa Rica's solutions to pollution and how the country is really tiny but mighty. Costa Rica is the 130th biggest country in the world. To put that in perspective, it's about the size of the state of Indiana. Though a very minimal amount of the country's area is urban, half of the population lives in cities. This means that a lot of the pollution is concentrated in these areas due to the tight roads and the traffic from all of the tourism. The World Health Organization, or WHO, did a study starting in 2008 to see how 282 countries compare in their air quality. Costa Rica came at number 31, based almost entirely off of the pollutant exhausts coming from San Jose. The pollutants that were tested were PM2.5 and PM10. PM2.5 is significantly more harmful than PM10 as it is smaller and can be more easily breathed in. Both of these particulate matters have been linked to decreased lung function, increased respiratory symptoms, and increased mortality in general due to heart and lung failure. We found an annual rate of 20% of the PM10 particle in the air. PM2.5 particles reached a level of 20.12 micrograms in 2015, compared to the safe standard of 12 micrograms. This evidence shows that there are definitely many pollutants in Costa Rica's air, though I wanted to get an insider's perspective on the issue. To do so, I sat down with Ms. Means and Ms. Gonzalez-Picado, a teacher and assistant principal at the International School of Indiana and Costa Rica natives, to ask a couple of questions about their opinions on pollution in Costa Rica. From your experiences in Costa Rica, do you believe that the country suffers most from air, water, or ground pollution?
Oh, I want to hear your answer.
I think all of them.
All of them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I agree with her, but I think that water is one of the issues, the contamination in the rivers and oceans.
Okay.
But the pollution, it's a big one because I think our roads were not made to hold these many vehicles.
I had the pleasure of visiting Costa Rica during the summer, staying within the Guanacaste province on the west side of the country. The effort that the restaurants, shops, consumer products, and resorts put into keeping the levels of pollution and waste down was truly inspiring and astonishing to me. And as Ms. Gonzalez-Picado pointed out, there are actually some laws in place to keep it that way.
Deforestation was happening because of that tourism.
Oh, really?
Like in the dry forest, El Bosque Seco, they were killing a lot of trees because they're building hotels.
Yeah.
Because the tourists bring a lot of money, so the value of the
land?
Yeah, the land, it goes up.
Oh,
so,
okay.
You know, people doesn't care about destroying trees because they want to build hotels for tourists.
That is sad, because money sometimes go over what is right. But what I know is conservation of national parks and reserves is very, very hard. So those areas at least are very well protected by law. So nobody can do anything to them. And it's a big area of Costa Rica. It's like 30% of Costa Rica. And it's that's why Costa Rica is like
Long
of the world. So I think I have something written here. So that law protects all that area, and also if someone wants to build a hotel, like in this case, there is a little bit restricted also, and if they build the hotel, there are regulations to do it, and this hotel cannot do any kind of pollution to that area. So you have to be like a green hotel.
Okay.
They have so many
Mhm.
restricted things that they need to
Oh,
follow
okay.
to keep the water clean, the trash, the recycling, and things like that. So
What are the other solutions for pollution in Costa Rica? For one, many organizations are working to raise awareness and gather volunteer efforts to help out in the rainforests, dry forests, beaches, and more. For example, Riteve is a Spanish-Costa Rican company that oversees vehicle inspections. In 2013, they partnered with the Ministry of the Environment with the goal to reduce vehicle emissions, which was part of the Raise Your Footprint campaign. This will provide vehicle owners with ideas on how maintaining and having better driving habits can help improve the environment, hopefully getting down to zero carbon emissions by 2021. That's right, zero carbon emissions. 21% of energy produced from Costa Rica comes from fossil fuels as of 2015, but 0% comes from nuclear fuels. 62% comes from hydroelectric plants, and thus Costa Rica is the 27th country in the world with the highest rate of hydroelectric energy. Finally, the remaining 17.6% of energy comes from completely renewable sources. Overall, in 2013, there were 7.6 million metric tons of carbon dioxide emissions from the consumption of energy. So is the zero carbon emission goal realistic? I asked Ms. Means and Ms. Gonzalez-Picado their opinions on this fast-approaching goal, and their answer was slightly surprising.
It seems so close.
it
Right?
is too close.
I don't think it's gonna happen this fast.
Mhm.
I mean, the amount of
It's just 3 years. No, it's not going to be possible.
they started in 2012, I think. Yeah,
Oh,
working
really?
on becoming the one carbon neutral country in the world. And I think politics are gonna play a big role on succeeding to be
Yeah.
able to finish in 2022. I do know.
The problem here also is money.
Mhm.
To do this, everybody has to have a little more money.
Mhm.
So it's difficult.
The main thing holding Costa Rica back is money, as, according to the Ministry of Treasury, 22% of the government's income comes from fossil fuel taxes, most of which are levied on transportation. But even with the economic difficulties and time running out, more is being done in Costa Rica to reach this goal than most developed countries in the world. This is partly due to the government, or more specifically, the new president of the country, Carlos Alvarado Quesada, who is actively supporting the carbon neutral goal.
The new president,
Mhm.
a very young,
Mhm.
he's trying to make a lot of changes in Costa Rica,
Mhm.
and he's pushing to have more law to try to keep the pollution and everything low. And at least, it's a country that is trying. We are a third world country, and we are trying to reduce pollution, to do more recycling. I think it's one of the few countries that is doing that.
Another organization fighting against pollution is Rutas Las Urbanas, a city project aiming to create shared routes around San Jose in order to promote non-contaminating forms of transportation, one of Costa Rica's biggest problems. These routes will take the form of riverbank paths and allow for bicyclists, pedestrians, and skaters to have priority on the road. It will be a 25-kilometer corridor going east-west that connects the city's three main green areas: the sports facility of the University of Costa Rica, the La Sabana Metropolitan Park, and the Parque de la Paz. This could also help to improve traffic around the city and make it more attractive to tourists. This is being fully financed by the construction company H. Solis. This route will be of great help to the city as it is close to a school and also to the historical parts of San Jose, which benefits tourists. Though this does seem like a good long-term solution, Ms. Gonzalez-Picado has seen some problems with the original implementation of it.
I saw them.
Oh, really?
Really? I haven't seen
No,
that.
because Costa Rican's roads are very narrow.
Yes, I thought, where are they gonna
So
build this?
it's causing a little bit of trouble
Oh, okay.
because the cars and the the bicycles and the people, and so it's a good idea to try to avoid many cars and just use bicycles. It's between San Pedro and San Jose. But the
25?
problem is that much of cars and
Yeah.
the bicycles, and I was also thinking in the weather. Our weather, is a lot of rain. So I don't know how many people can be.
Yeah, we have
That's
dry and
true.
wet season. That's it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the rain season is 9 months, and
Mhm.
it's almost every day.
Mhm.
So I don't know if it's going to be good to be driving a bike. I mean, riding a bike.
That's
But
a
it's
good
a good
point.
idea. It's a good idea. You know.
Mhm. Yeah.
Especially
For
because, example, where I used to live in the city, you don't have like the trees and the space that you have in here. Like all the houses are close to each other, and there's nothing like that. So these walking paths of nature will be really cool to have.
Plastic pollution is another pressing problem in Costa Rica, especially on beaches and riverbanks. Over the past 40 years, though, many people and organizations have started realizing the importance of the environment on the future of our planet and have started doing things to help it. For example, Operación Reach Coast. Operación Reach Coast is a privately funded project by Julie Vigneault and Sandy Schmidt. This organization brings volunteers from all across Costa Rica to pick up as much trash as possible. For example, on December 30th, 2017, they were able to collect 125 bags of trash from Guacalilo Beach, which is badly polluted. This only made a dent in the plastic problems in Costa Rica, though the beach cleanups have raised awareness about the plastic problems all across the country. They're even going to create education programs to teach people the best ways to solve the pollution problem. They also plan on working toward getting more involved in the cleaning of the Rio Tercoles, which is the most polluted river in all of Central America. This river is where all the trash and agrochemicals from San Jose are dumped, and as it connects to the Pacific Ocean, these contaminants can actually affect water pollution worldwide. These contaminants can also affect ground pollution as the solid waste is washed onto the river's many shores. Volunteers often come to clean up these beaches, but since no active solution is being implemented to the source of the problem, which is the city, it's just a never-ending cycle of picking up trash. The animals mostly suffer from this pollution, as they need the water to live, and all the contaminants in the water can pose a real threat to their health. The pollution also decreases tourism, which is one of the country's main sources of revenue. One solution that is being implemented is by the Waters Laboratory of Aya, who have constructed a system of metropolitan sewers with a treatment plant that will hopefully filter out any contaminants before they reach the river. The mayor of San Jose has also taken notice of this issue and has banned illegal garbage dumping and is performing routine checks on some industries to make sure they are not polluting. Costa Rica is very agriculturally based. To control levels of regulated substances on farms, such as arsenic and mercury, a decree was made by authorities on July 10, 2013. This decree stated that the owner of a piece of land is responsible for maintaining low soil concentration values of pollutants, as well as fund any necessary projects to keep these levels down. This applies to all landowners, even if they are not responsible for the pollution. To control the levels of pollution, the decree also states that landowners have to measure the amount of contaminants in the soil periodically. For this, the decree lists a number of pollutants in the soil that can intervene or prevent crops from growing. This helps to minimize the amount of pollutants going into the soil. It can also increase the country's crop yield. As Costa Rica is a third world country, solar panels and electric cars are very desired, but are also very rare.
So to be honest, I've never seen solar panels, but maybe they're starting to use them.
They are pretty expensive, so many people,
Again,
like
money.
get scared at that moment to say, "Oh, I need to pay $3,000 for this to keep my energy bill lower." But in the long term, it's going to be better because you don't have to pay more electricity in bills because you are taking it from the sun. But and it's another point, lower class people with no much more money, so they cannot buy that. And for the middle class, it's an investment. They need to maybe ask for a loan or something to buy that. But it's getting more and more popular.
Overall, though some of their goals may be far-fetched, Costa Rica is a leading example of what countries should be doing to lower levels of pollution in the world and save our blue planet. Though man may have caused pollution, we are also the ones finding ways to solve it. And if we work together and follow Costa Rica's example, we can truly make a difference in this world. As one, we may be tiny, but together we are definitely mighty.
Did you just wink?
Yeah.